The NFL offseason is a time of change for the 32 teams throughout the league, and it is no different for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars currently sit over $32 million over the salary cap heading into 2023, according to SpotRack. There's going to have to be moves made. There's going to have to be some restructuring potentially done. So without further ado, let's dive in and talk about the potential cap casualties heading into 2023 on this Jaguars roster. But hey, be sure to hang out and subscribe to the Jags Fan Cave if you are enjoying the content. I love talking to you guys down in the comments, so let me hear your takes down below. Starting off with the guy everyone probably has circled on their list as guys that are cap casualties, and it's Shaq Griffin. Cutting Shaq Griffin saves $13.1 million. It seems like a very easy cut. The only Jaguars are going to make. Overall, he was a big disappointment in Jacksonville. You think back to his first year in Jacksonville, 2021, Trevor Lawrence's rookie year. Shaq Griffin just kept dropping interceptions. And you look to 2022. Yeah, he was okay. He was a guy playing opposite of Tyson Campbell. Everyone looked at Shaq Griffin to have a big year, and then Tyson Campbell was going to 100% outshine Shaq Griffin. Shaq Griffin gets hurt, and then it just seemed like he was never going to come back after he was healthy, if he ever did get healthy. And he is the big black eye on Trent Baalke's resume, 100%, no doubt about it. He was just a miss in free agency, and there's no two ways about it. It's the first year the Jaguars really can't get out from this contract and move on from Shaq Griffin. He ultimately does save $13.1 million. Now, Roy Robertson-Harris, yes, he's on the defensive line. It's a defensive line that's looking like it's going to be one of the weaker portions of the team heading into 2023, but the money needs to be found somewhere. And unless you're going to have the entire top 7, 8 guys on the roster that are going to restructure their deals, you're going to have to find the money elsewhere. Ultimately did come on really, really strong in the final 6 games of the season. 9 quarterback hits, 7 tackles for losses, 3 sacks, a couple passes defended. He was a very, very good defensive lineman towards the later portion of his second year in Jacksonville. But when you look at the first 20 games, give or take, that he played in the River City, it was really kind of just like, okay, this is, cool. Hey, you're playing well, but are you playing to the dollar value of your contract? I don't know. Roy Robertson-Harris, I do think, is somebody that is going to end up being a cap casualty. Hopefully he's not. I don't want to see this defensive line get depleted even more, but saving almost $8 million, it seems like something that will happen. Now, another guy who has, come on very, very strong as of late, Rayshawn Jenkins, kind of the similar story of Roy Robertson-Harris. Another kind of an expensive free agency addition last year, doesn't really play up to the hype in his first year, then really comes on strong in the second half of the season. Roy Robertson-Harris and Rayshawn Jenkins are a ton of similarities. Rayshawn Jenkins, if cut, saves $6.25 million. And if he does get cut, I see the Jaguars making a big push towards Dewey Wingard, kind of putting him in that strong safety spot, letting him do what he does. Ultimately, he did make some big plays throughout the season. Yes, he did have the huge strip sack. He did have the huge pick 6 in the Cowboy game. But ultimately, he is very expensive at a position where you really don't need to have an incredibly expensive player at that position, considering the fact of what talent is out there. Unless you have one of the elite safeties in the league, you don't need to be paying up for that position. Now, another guy I do think a lot of people are going to be 100% getting rid of is K'Lavon Chaisson. Saves almost $2.5 million. It's not a lot, but it is some. And when you look at what he's done in Jacksonville thus far, that 5th-year option's not getting picked up. And you can find 15 tackles a year a whole heck of a lot cheaper, and you can honestly probably just ask the rest of the defensive line to pick up 15 tackles. It'll probably go to Foye, it'll probably go to Devin Lloyd, Chad Muma. If the defensive line doesn't get it, those 15 will get spread out somewhere. You're not going to be missing K'Lavon Chaisson. I think the boat has sailed on him. He's 100% a bust. I don't think we're ever going to see anything productive in the National Football League from him. Adios. Saving $2.42 million. Now, a final guy that I think a lot of people are going to be upset with. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this take. I got a lot of it from the last time I brought it up. Jamal Agnew saves $4.71 million. He only played 150 offensive snaps. Yes, what you do get from him with that money is the benefit of the return game. But ultimately, when you look at the averages that he has in the return game compared to the other returners that have returned kicks this year for the Jaguars, it is only a couple of yards more per average than what you're getting from those other guys, the JaMycal Hasty's, players like that. Yes, you do get the longer. Yes, you do get the home run potential a little bit more. But I do think 2021 year, that was an incredible year with the 2 returns. And I'm not saying cut him, but he is an expensive returner. There's no way about it. He's just an expensive returner on a team that has no money left. These moves can get the Jaguars to just over $170,000 over the cap for 2023. Now, this is where restructuring can really help this team. All of these numbers are projected by SpotRack to what they will do for the cap in 2023. All of them are going to be base salary restructures, get them into bonuses, and spread that cap hit out over the length of the deal. Christian Kirk, if he restructures, saves $9.61 million. Foye Oluokun, if he restructures, it has $6.54 million, saving Brandon Sheriff $6.16 million. And then Cam Robinson, if he restructures, saves $7.46 million. Now, another option I think the Jaguars have to find some cap room is to re-sign Josh Allen long term. Right now he's playing on his fifth-year option going into 2023, and that is a fully guaranteed $10.89 million that the Jaguars owe him in 2023. If you re-sign him to a long-term deal, you can really shrink down that cap number and put a lot of it in a bonus and then prorate it out over the 4 or 5 years, whatever that you do give him. Ultimately, that is just another option the Jaguars can use. There's no set number on what that'll save them, but I will shrink that $10.89 million cap hit that the Jaguars will have with him if he only does play on the 5th-year option. Ultimately, this is just kind of a numerical video. This isn't what I think will happen, but I do think there are some big cap casualties that are coming in the coming weeks as we get ready for NFL free agency here in just a couple weeks as we get into March. Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys would do with these numbers. Do you restructure? Do you see how many guys you can get to restructure before you even talk about the cuts? Shaq Griffin's gone. Roy Robertson Harris, is he gone? Rayshon Jenkins, Jamal Agnew, Caleb Chason. What do you do with these guys that are expensive and then only semi-productive at various points of the season? Obviously, Jamal Agnew is one of the most productive of that list throughout the length of his contract. Let me know down below what would you guys do with these numbers. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already if you did enjoy the content. Thank you again for watching. Stay safe and go Jaguars.
Yeah, I just work here.